Egypt strongly condemns Israel's bombing of a residential area in Beit Lahia, northern Gaza. Egyptian Foreign Minister discusses the situation in Lebanon and Egypt's efforts to contain the crisis in the region with the Lebanese parliament speaker. And the Egyptian Navy celebrates the 57th anniversary of October 21st, 1967, marking one of the greatest victories in history. You're now watching the latest updates in Egypt on Q News, and moving on for the latest developments. Egypt has strongly condemned Israel's bombing of a residential area in Beit Lahia, northern Gaza, which resulted in numerous civilian casualties. The Egyptian government denounced Israel's ongoing attacks on unarmed civilians, homes, hospitals and schools, emphasizing the absence of moral or military justification for the high civilian toll. Egypt called for international accountability to end civilian suffering and halt Israel's violations of international law. It urged the United Nations Security Council to act immediately, warning of the consequences of inaction against Israeli aggression. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has inaugurated a training course on post-conflict reconstruction, development and stability in the Sahel region with his Romanian counterpart Luminita Odobescu, organized by Egypt's Ministry of Foreign Affairs with Romanian partners. The first joint training on reconstruction highlights shared interests and efforts to strengthen ties with Africa, especially in the Sahel. Odobescu praised Egypt and Romania's friendship and the role of the Cairo International Center for housing the 16th course edition. She also emphasized Romania's growing focus on African engagement. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has held a phone call with the Speaker of the Lebanese Parliament, Nabih Berri, to discuss the recent developments in Lebanon. Berri praised Egypt's political and humanitarian support during Lebanon's crisis and its efforts to stabilize the region. Abdelati condemned Israel's violations of Lebanese sovereignty, warned against regional escalation, and stressed Egypt's push for a ceasefire. Egypt's foreign minister denounced attacks on Lebanese forces, infrastructure and UNIFIL troops, reaffirming Egypt's commitment to aiding Lebanon, including a recent shipment of 22 tons of relief to Beirut on October 16th. Egypt's Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati has discussed developments in the Middle East with the Swedish Foreign Minister Maria Malmer Stenergaard. Abdelati stressed the urgent need for a ceasefire and unconditional humanitarian assistance and praised Sweden's significant humanitarian role in supporting the UNRWA. The two ministers reviewed Egypt's efforts to de-escalate tensions in Lebanon and the intensive communications taking place with all regional and international parties. Qatar's Minister of State for International Cooperation, Lulu Al-Khater, has stated that Egyptian-Qatari relations are deep and strategic, entering new dimensions, particularly through cooperation on mediation efforts aimed at achieving ceasefire in the ongoing war in Gaza. In press statements, Al-Khater highlighted the strong coordination between Qatar and Egypt across political, economic and cultural domains, reflecting the strength of bilateral ties under the wise guidance of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and the Qatari Emir Tamim bin Hamad. She expressed gratitude to Egyptian authorities for their continuous support in facilitating humanitarian aid to Gaza, particularly amid the closure of the Rafah crossing, a vital lifeline for the residents. The Ministry of Health and Population has held a discussion titled The Power of Culture and Media, Shaping Health Perceptions and Human Behaviors, attended by Dr. Khalid Abdel Ghaffar, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Health. This event is part of the second edition of the Global Conference on Population, Health and Human Development. During this session, Dr. Abdel Ghaffar highlighted the crucial role of culture in reshaping societal beliefs, especially among youth. He identified the Ministry of Culture as a vital partner in enhancing community awareness through various mediums, including dramas and talk shows. Additionally, he stressed the importance of collaboration between the ministries to develop non-commercial health awareness programs aimed at educating the public on a range of health issues. Dr. Radi Hamad, head of the preventive medicine sector of the Ministry of Health and Population, has announced that vaccination rates among children have reached 95%. He also noted the establishment of 28 environmental monitoring sites and 11 hepatitis B virus monitoring sites to support public health efforts. During the sessions of the Global Conference on Population, Health and Development, Dr. Hamad noted that there are currently 9 million refugees in Egypt receiving preventive services. He mentioned that 14,000 children have been vaccinated at their southern border and 1.2 million vaccination doses have been administered to guests in Egypt. The Executive Director of the General Authority for Health Care, Dr. Amir Talwani, has stated fully implemented in 6 governorates. He added that phase 2 of the system is set to roll out in 5 additional governorates. He further noted that there are over 1,100 accredited facilities within the comprehensive health insurance system. During the sessions of the Global Conference on Health, Population and Development, Dr. Talwani explained that the first phase covers 6 million citizens, and by 2026, the insurance system aims to extend coverage to 20 million citizens. Egypt's Minister of Health and Population, Khalid Abdel Ghaffar, has inspected the health insurance hospital in the new administrative capital with his Greek counterpart. The occurred during the Global Congress on Population, Health and Human Development hosted by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi from October 21st to the 25th. The two ministers inspected outpatient clinics featuring 12 specialized clinics and 3 dental clinics within a 25,000 square meter hospital with a capacity of 200 beds and 6 floors. The Egyptian Navy is celebrating the 57th anniversary of the October 21st, 1967, a pivotal moment in their history when they successfully sank the Israeli destroyer Eilat, marked as well one of the greatest victories in their history. During a press conference, the Navy headquarters in Ras Al-Tin Commander Lieutenant General Ashraf Ibrahim Atwa emphasized that the Navy's achievements demonstrated its strength and determination. He also acknowledged the political leadership's support for enhancing infrastructure, combat capabilities, and training methods to align the Navy with global standards. The Information and Decision Support Center of the Cabinet has announced that international and local institutions development based on the principles of sustainable smart cities. The 5th edition of the Cities of the Future report, titled Cairo as a Global Financial Hub, highlighted the Cairo International Financial Center project. The General Authority for Investment and Free Zones is working to establish a model similar to global financial hubs in the new administrative capital. BRICS TV has reported that Egypt is currently seeking to increase trade volumes with various BRICS countries using local currencies. The BRICS TV further noted that Egypt is expected to discuss enhancing trade in local currencies during the upcoming summit in Kazan, Russia, which will take place on Tuesday and last for 3 days. Egypt's trade volume with BRICS nations accounts for nearly 1/3 of its total trade, valued at approximately $31 billion. It is anticipated that currency swap agreements will strengthen trade relations and investments. Minister of Petroleum Karim Badawi has announced that Egypt has revised its renewable energy target for 2040, lowering it from 58% to 40%. He emphasized Egypt's reliance on natural gas as a crucial component of its energy mix for the next few years. Egypt has set a goal of achieving 42% renewable energy in its mix by 2035, later moving the target date up to 2030. According to a statement by Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Rania Al-Mashat, Egypt has allocated 118 billion Egyptian pounds for human development in the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. The international cooperation portfolio for this sector totals $7 billion, including concessional financing, grants, and debt swaps. She highlighted that the Takaful and Karama program, funded by the World Bank with $1.4 billion in soft financing, has been running for 9 years and supports 20 million Egyptians. Egypt has signed 4 agreements with global companies at the Mediterranean Offshore Conference, focusing on operational safety, energy efficiency, carbon reduction, and sustainable energy. The Egyptian Natural Gas Holding Company and Greece's DESFA will collaborate on carbon capture and storage technologies. Additionally, the Egyptian Natural Gas Company and DESFA will strengthen ties in natural gas and hydrogen transport, carbon capture, and sustainable energy storage. Another agreement with Baker Risk will focus on operational safety, energy efficiency, and carbon reduction. A partnership between the Egyptian General Petroleum Corporation and Shell aims to develop leadership training in healthy, safety, and environment. The Meteorological Authority predicts a moderate weather for Tuesday, with mild temperatures in the early evening, becoming cooler late at night and in the early morning. Warm weather is expected in northern Egypt up to Greater Cairo, while the south will experience hot conditions. The General Authority for Weather Forecasting has indicated that tomorrow will see increased wind activity across most regions, helping to cool the temperatures. However, maritime navigation on the Mediterranean and Red Sea will be disrupted, with wind speeds reaching 50 to 60 kilometers per hour and wave heights between 2.5 and 3.5 meters. And this brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here's what we have been covering. Egypt strongly condemns Israel's bombing of a residential area in Beit Lahia, northern Gaza. Egyptian Foreign Minister discusses the situation in Lebanon and Egypt's efforts to contain the crisis in the region with the Lebanese Parliament Speaker. And the Egyptian Navy is celebrating the 57th anniversary of October 21st, 1967, marking one of the greatest victories in their history. And this brings us to the end of our bulletin. Remember to stay updated by following Q News on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at QNewsEG for the latest developments. Thank you very much for watching.